tell us what's new in the world of wearables.
So the wearables space is continuing to be really hot. And it started a few years ago with Fuel Band and little wrist trackers, but now it's really expanded to things that people weren't anticipating years ago. So the biggest news has been the Apple Watch, which is, although it's a nice looking watch, it has a huge amount of technology that is helping people. It'll help people do things a lot easier, but it'll also create new opportunities for interaction. So wearables, if you look at it, they're generally connected devices to the internet, and by 2020 there's going to be 50 billion devices connected to the internet.
Wow.
That people will own. And in 2020 there's only going to be 7.6 billion people. So that means on average each person is going to have 6 items connected to the internet that they own for themselves. So that's the average, and some people will have way many more. So the whole excitement of the wearables is how is the world changing when you have many more things that can talk to each other. Mm-hmm. My wrist can talk to my alarm clock and my light bulb and my thermostat and my refrigerator, and it can also talk to my car, and I could see if I drive a certain amount of miles without accident, my insurance company will give me a bonus. It is really a wide open space, and it's a real exciting time, and it matters both for individuals but also for people involved in media, people involved on a commercial side for marketing, because now you have new data and ways to understand what people are doing. Mm-hmm. And it's going to make things with the goal of making it a lot easier for people. You could pay for things very easy. That could be good or bad.
Yeah.
And
security-wise, not so good maybe, but yeah, okay.
And it could empty your wallet very quickly
and that
too.
Also.
And it's just, there's a real movement of change that's happening because of this new technology.
Mm-hmm. So how did that story begin in the first place, the wearable story?
So it's actually been with us for quite a while. Wearables probably first began when we had a Bluetooth headset, mm-hmm. and that's like the simplest wearable. Or you had, in hospitals, you had little heart measurements. In the 90s, you had heartbeat trackers where you can, people running can train in certain mm-hmm. zones. And it's been here for probably 30, 40 years, as long as Bluetooth has been around, and as long as someone has put something on their body, a headset. What's different now is that the technologies are getting much smaller, mm-hmm. and you could do a whole lot more. Some of the really advanced, you could look at a wearables, which is the Google Glass. Mm-hmm. That's you can get instant information. Some people love it. Some people are very skeptical of it. But the change has been because of the new technologies, and they continue to get smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I can't imagine what will be like. What will wearables look like in, I don't know, 20 years from now? Maybe like a needle or something.
Yes. So the one of the elements of the technology advancement is when it's so small that you have a computer in everything, in your fabrics, mm-hmm. and in little pieces that now you could put in your ear. It becomes really Star Trek-like, but the technologies are really moving at a fast pace that are getting us very close.
Yeah, crazy. So what kind of users benefit from wearables?
So wearables on one level help people change a behavior. So if I want to exercise more, I can get an alert if I'm not walking enough during the day, and that could help change my habit. It can give me it can help me reinforce like fitness. If I know I'm too stressed out, I can get an alert. If I'm having a wearable fabric, it can monitor my sweat, so know if I'm dehydrated or not, okay. and help me drink more. So there's a lot of health and fitness benefits, and then there's entertainment kind of benefits. So if I have a wristband that I can integrate with my Xbox, I can get into whole different ways of playing games. A virtual reality headset, the Oculus Rift, is an example of this, where not only is it used for gaming, but one example has been where they're helping soldiers who have come back from war help readjust by giving them experiences when they start getting stressed to overcome those. Or children who've been traumatized, especially, they can wear something that helps them overcome those
trauma.
So it really is. It's a wide open field.
Great. Can wearables invoke some kind of paranoia or control freakiness? Like, the things you say, like, okay, so I know when I'm dehydrated, I don't need a device to tell me that. I don't know if you get my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, your body is lagging in dehydration, so you get thirsty when it's too late. But there's other things. Definitely, you are now in a place where you have a lot of data, and you can get hooked to the data without having, with the threat of losing your common sense. The goal is that the numbers can help you, and they should be focused towards helping you. And the best way to avoid being kind of pulled into this and kind of or exploited by that is to understand what the technology is.
Or be the slave of the technology itself,
Yes.
Like,
there's definitely a dark side of that, and it is an ethical and moral imperative of the people who make these devices or games to understand that you can take advantage of people without them knowing of it. There's the recent breakthrough thinking on this by Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow is a prime example of how we're susceptible to the environment. And to do that, you need to have, to counter that, you need an ability to rationally assess situations. And to help you with that, data can help. So the technology, it can be good or bad, and you have to understand it to become, to avoid being susceptible to it. But there's so many benefits to it that it really should outweigh any potential negatives.
Okay, I'll trust you on that one. Do you think that older people can pick up on this trend also? And are they like even a target audience, or are you more focused on younger population?
Elderly especially can benefit from this. So Google.
Can you give me the example?
So Google just bought a spoon company that helps elderly people with Parkinson's disease and helps adjust the spoon so that they can eat more easily and track the way they're using the spoon. So if their hands are shaking, the spoon can compensate so that they can put the spoon more easily in their mouth. So there's other technologies that you wear that if you fall, there's an alert that's sent out. If an elderly person is diabetic, and the elderly tend to become diabetic, blood sugar monitoring where it's not even anymore a blood glucose test, but you just wear it on your wrist. So there's definitely the whole set that's really geared for the aging population, and many of the kind of new innovations coming out our focus is on an elderly population. How much are they walking? Did they fall? Are they having trouble breathing? Is something happening with their heart? All of these can be done through wearables.
So actually the elderly are your targets, so to say, not only them, but so you can benefit out of the young population and old population.
Yes,
both.
The core element is the technology is there. It's how do you communicate that technology in a practical way for the way a person cares about solving a problem. So an elderly person wants a problem solved. They want to feel safe that if they fall, someone's going to be there if there's no one, if they're alone at home. And so whatever the technology is, it's more of what's the value to them. And the technology is transparent. And it's so small now, or it's so embedded, that the technology is becoming more harder to really associate as a technology. It's just
something, yeah.
It's something you put on.
Great. The best and most practical versus the worst and most non-practical use of wearables.
Yeah, that's really subjective.
Okay.
I think the
what's
best
from your point of view.
I'm big into exercise. Wearables really can help you train better. That's the easiest, very practical version of this. Payment systems are also very practical. I swipe my NFC, my phone, or later on my watch. I pay for something. Very practical. The unusable, I don't know exactly if there's something totally out of there. There's a lot of ideas. You can find many of them on Kickstarter, but they tend to be something that's really specialized, that you buy once and it's novel, but then you throw away after a week. And those tend to be things like different motion gadgets that you may be able to swipe your hand and open up your computer or something, but it might just be too far out that it's not practical.
Okay. Can wearables extend our lives?
Yes, in a sense that it can give you feedback on if you're doing something unhealthy for yourself. So are you not exercising? That's a key indicator. So if you correlate exercise to longer, healthier life, definitely it can help you. In terms of the futuristic kind of can this give me an extra 50 years of great living? I think that's far off now.
We're not there yet, okay?
Yeah, not there. But living healthy, it can give you the feedback you need to have to live a good, healthy life.
Okay. Can you predict the next big technological thing after wearables? Do you think that technology can totally replace people?
Well, there's a saying that are humans the biological bootloaders for digital intelligence? That's
yeah. Okay.
So that's a bit on the profound side, but on all the technologies are meant to really enhance what a person does. Just like tools 10,000 years ago in the Bronze Age gave people the ability to expand, or the printing press allowed people to move and explore knowledge in a greater way, so do these technologies. And they're now changing contextually how people interact with each other, or how they interact with objects. And it's really something that is a natural progress. There's always going to be the simple life that people can go back to.
Yeah.
But the technologies are there that let you explore things that go beyond what people have normally been able to achieve. So and that's generally worth of technologies. Space exploration is very near in the future. With commercial satellite companies and commercial launch companies, Virgin Galactic, you have SpaceX. Those are all technology enabled. But at the fundamental level, we still revert to the ancient Greeks' perspective of the human interaction and the human condition, and how people live their lives and what creates a fulfilling life.
Do you live in a country?
I'm kidding. And so it comes back to people. You have to understand the underpinnings of what it means to have an enlightened life, and through education and knowledge and figuring out your own fulfillment.
Which country is the most wearables friendly country and has the most users, and where is Croatia on that scale? Okay, the US probably?
Yeah, US, I'd say Japan is getting there,
course.
The UK is getting there, and probably Germany is the top markets. They're generally the higher end adoptive markets because of price points. Croatia, I tell you, there's a Croatia, this region in Croatia maybe
region
is not as highly adopted, but it's far more adoptive in the younger segments than in the older segments. And so that might be a function of economic ability to buy these, and but it's also cultural. If you're living in California, this is really up and center in your face. You know about Apple. You know it permeates where you are, and same thing in big cities. But in Middle America, and since taking America, there's not a lot of adoption, but it happens more slowly. So there's some nice hardware startups coming out of Croatia. ID Guardian is coming out. It's very hard to do it in this region. Hardware is hard to do in this region because the infrastructure is not there. It's changing, and it's getting easier, but it's still probably the easiest places to do it are Silicon Valley, Colorado, maybe the UK, Israel, places that have ecosystems to support that kind of innovation.
Can wearables be fun, and how? Actually, you answered me that question with connecting to Xboxes and stuff. And can you tell me, do wearables help us to become perfect? Like, controlling our,
optimizing yourself. Can you optimize yourself? I'll say something on the fun side. So if you looked at the Apple Watch in the presentation, they have a haptic interface where you can start tapping, and if someone else has an Apple Watch, they'll feel that tap on their wrist. So it can kind of be fun, or it can kind of be a little bit kind of unsettling. But there is a lot of fun on the wearable side, because now you can do location-based gaming and activities. You can race against yourself. You could race against a virtual person ahead of you, like Strava does, and keep you at a certain pace because you're looking at a heads-up display and you see a virtual person ahead of you keeping you pace.
Wow. Okay.
It's really exciting. In terms of being perfect, you can. That is really individual.
Yeah, because you always you said like in that room there when there was a lecture, you always like refer to your fitness and how you can control your fitness. And now when you sat down, you said like, I can control my fitness. So is that like something that you want to achieve, to be more perfect, or just to be more fit? But that's like a correlation,
Perfection is a tricky word, and I think it is something where, for the vain, it could help them to reach their own kind of self-image goals. But from a behavioral aspect, if you want to encourage certain behaviors, reminding you to do some activity on a regular basis, or losing weight, or getting in better shape, or meeting with friends, or some kind of activity which is dynamic between people, it can help. But
is it because you're lazy and you need somebody to remind you, like, I'm trying to get the...
I want to say that there's a lot of reasons why people get into habits. It could be influence from friends, from media, from the environment, and again, they're tools. So perfection, I won't say that it's going to be something that gives you perfection, but it could be a tool to help you get there.
Okay, that's a good answer. Can this technology be a substitute for real people, for example, for a fitness trainer or an MD? Because you gave me the example,
it is something, it can help, it's going to change a lot of industries. So fitness can coach you based on algorithms, and can be based on software. Algorithms can do a lot, and it can replace some types of human activities. But that's a natural change in items. I think that there's always a role. Without question, there's always a human aspect to everything we do, but we may now shift that to new activities that matter between people. It might be walking along the water instead of being coached, or some other activities. It's not a replacement for people. It doesn't replace, but it is something that will change the nature of what you do.
And for the end of this conversation, I just want to know, how did you get into all of that wearables technology stuff? What's up with MySkin? And can you just tell me something about your future plans, maybe for your company, firm, your Serbia, US travels and stuff?
So I got into this in the wearables and really the quantified self of measuring things because we're measuring your skin health. So today, how do you know how healthy your skin is?
I don't.
You don't, and you only know it's not healthy when something goes bad. And
it's like with the dehydration thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I was leading up to that. But we're measuring skin health, and what does that mean? We have a device that can tell you how healthy your skin is. If it's not healthy, what do you do to make it healthier? And an example of that is we're measuring acne. So if you have a pimple, you can look at your pimple and we'll tell you how long until it goes away. So, and what to do to make it go away faster. So if you have a party, an event, and you have a pimple that comes out, we'll tell you what to do to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Having prom night or stuff, okay?
Exactly. And if you don't have a pimple, we'll tell you the risk that you are going to get one and what to lower it so that you don't break out before the big event.
Do you have are you in deal with some kind of pharmaceutical companies or?
So we're working on distributions right now,
okay.
but our goal is to be unbiased so that we're not, because we want to, part of what we do is tell you, look, these are the best products to use. If we have someone who's partnered with us, then there's a little bit of a, do I really believe this, or did this brand pay us to give you this recommendation? So we're kind of going through that line, but we're creating a personal consumer device now. It's based off of what we did at TechCrunch Disrupt last year, and we're really excited about it, and it's coming out. It's coming out later this year, and I'll be happy to tell you more about it then.
Okay, cool. What's up with Serbia and the US connection? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So we ended up, I was living in Paris, and by chance I was in a weekend in Serbia when I came across my future co-founders, and we ended up, they talked about an imaging technology for skin cancer analysis, and that started the idea around skin analysis and skin health analysis. And we ended up taking that and realizing we can do a lot around skin health in general. So we built a team there, and around those co-founders. On the US side, my classmate from business school focused on the commercial and the sales side. And then we had a lot of the technology development in Serbia itself. And so a lot of back and forth. And what it helped us do was leverage some really good talent here in the region, and while staying very close to the market, which is essential for any kind of venture that you try to do here. Because you can create great technologies out of the labs, out of the universities, but if they're not connected to the market or what people want, they're going to fizzle out. And it's a real challenge starting something here. Without that link, it's very hard to really know what customers are going to buy and what they need. And it's only getting more competitive. So you have to create that establishment.
Great. Can you show me how much you ran today and how is your fitness?
Well, let's see. I'm not, okay, so I didn't walk too much. It's exactly 777. And
so it's like connected with your iPhone, right?
No, this is by itself, and it's a normal. This is the Polar Loop, and it's a normal.
Because my friend has one which is connected, and it looks like the same as yours.
Yes.
Okay.
So I burned 2,500 calories today.
Great.
And I still have to go for my run. So.
Okay, cool.
But
thank you very much for this conversation. It was really a pleasure.
Hope
to see you again.
Great, thank you very much.
And I'm wishing you like a good weekend and I don't know, a good career and business opportunities.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.